Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for December. I hope you're doing well. I am going to take a quick second to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Sagittarius out there, so guys, just take what resonates for you, leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating, get in where you fit in. But as always, Sagittarius, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Sagittarius? Sagittarius. Okay. So Sagittarius, are you being tempted here? We have the Devil. We have the Six of Cups and we have the Empress. And by the way, happy birthday to all of you Sagittarius that have a birthday this week. I see you being very tempted by something here. Be careful about overindulgence because some of these things you're being tempted towards are maybe not as good for you as you think they might be. With the Six of Cups here, you could be dealing with a soulmate, but this is a energy of you looking back at things, reminiscing about your past. I do like that you have the Empress energy here because that tells me that you are learning your value, learning your self-worth here. You're seated in this Empress energy. And so you're not chasing after anyone or anything. No matter how tempted you are, you're kind of sitting back and you're drawing things to you. You're trying to put things together in a way that leads to your success. So I do like your energy here, a little bit of dreamy energy, a little bit of feeling very tempted, leaning into some vices, but overall, it looks like you are coming back to center and you're just kind of pulling in and drawing in what is going to make you happy, make you successful. So let me see who's in your energy. Show me who is in Sagittarius energy. Be careful on your birthdays, guys, that you're not overindulging, because I'm seeing that for somebody. Who's in Sagittarius energy? Who's in Sagittarius energy? All right, so the person in your energy, we have the World in reverse. We have the Eight of Pentacles. You could be involved with somebody that you work with. We have the Two of Wands. All right, so this person is at a crossroads. There is something here that is trying to close out, or they're trying to close out, but there's unfinished business. They can't quite do that. They're looking at all the details of that. I also feel like if this is someone from your past, and it may be, they could be a soulmate. This would be somebody who wants to work things out with you. They don't feel like things are over between the two of you. This is somebody that would choose you over anyone else. It's like they're recognizing this Empress energy within you, and they're at a crossroads in their life. They're willing to put the effort into this situation, though. Let me see. I'm hearing you're my masterpiece. I don't know what that means, but maybe it makes sense to somebody. Show me the energy between Sagittarius and this person. All right, we have the Four of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so this is somebody you've had an ending with. And then we have the Five of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, you had an ending with this person. I feel like it ended in conflict. I feel like if it's not an ending, it's instability. There's instability here. Something happened and it caused, it just hyped up, wound up in a conflict. And now there's this sense of this person wants to resolve the conflict with you. They want to clean things up. There is a little bit of avoiding energy that I'm seeing with them. And I do feel like, and I have to be honest with you, I do feel like the instability may have been caused from some sort of toxic energy on your side. But, you know, like I said, if it's not for you, just leave it for whoever that is. We're not all perfect, you know. So I do feel like there's this instability between the two of you, possibly an ending. There was conflict here, but this person does want to work this out. So let me see. Something escalated here, and it escalated due to toxic behavior. It's being affected because of, what's affecting the connection is the Death card. Yeah, it's the toxic behavior. So there's some sort of toxicity here that is causing this connection to basically, you know, disintegrate, to spoil. A transformation needs to happen, all right? You may be looking at the connection from rose-colored glasses. This person wants to work things out, but they're also focusing on the details. Yeah, something happened here. Let me see. So if there is toxic energy on your side, be sure you're addressing it. If it's on the other person's side, don't cover that over with the don't cover it over or gloss it over with, you know, the goodness. Because, you know, every relationship has good and has some negative, and things have to be worked out. They have to be, you know, dealt with. Otherwise, it grows. You know, it's like a cancer, and it just grows and grows, and it'll eventually eat up the connection. Now, what I'm seeing here is your outcome is the Nine of Wands in the reverse, and that does indicate a resolution. Now, it's going to take a lot to get there, because whatever this is that has escalated between you and this person, I do feel like it's taken a long time to get to that point. And so I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time to resolve it, but with the Nine of Wands reversed, that is a resolution of problems. So bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. That's underlying energy. This could be an on and off relationship. This could be a connection where you don't really want to settle down with this person, you know, or one of you could be, you know, being a little bit of a player as well. All right, so let's clarify. Spirit One is the Devil here for Sagittarius. All right, so we have the Emperor in reverse, and we have the Empress in reverse. Now you're changing that energy. So I do feel like you are working on yourself here. I feel like the toxic energy that I'm seeing on your side is that you're not really taking charge of the situation. You're not really understanding your own value, your own self-worth, and you're not being very nurturing in this connection because, and I have to say, it does look like this is a deep soulmate connection, possibly even a twin flame connection. So, but there's some toxic energy here that has to be dealt with that's destabilizing this connection. And it's on both sides. And I think you're recognizing that. I think you're recognizing that. For most of you guys, I feel like you are the feminine and you're dealing with a masculine energy here that is refusing possibly to take charge of a situation. And that may be causing you some concern. So maybe you got to focus on your own. And I do see you doing that. But what has caused the instability or possibly even an ending here is because you may not have known your value and self-worth. You may not have properly taken control of these situations that, you know, were vices or difficulties within your part of the connection. So let me see. Or you may feel that this person didn't. And that may have caused you to pull back and not be very, very affectionate. All right, so we have the Eight of Cups reversed. We have the Seven of Wands reversed. And we have the Star card in reverse. Yeah, so there's going to be a return of the past. Return, either you're returning or this person's returning. If one of you walked away from the connection, there's a new opportunity here to work this out, to resolve the conflict, to bring balance where there has not been balance. And that imbalance, again, is being caused because something here is not being addressed and it's eroding the relationship slowly but surely. So I do feel like you're getting a second chance at, you know, resolving that. There's some hopelessness and some feelings of being powerless within the situation. So don't let those emotions overwhelm you, because remember, Sagittarius, you are the Empress in this energy. Whether you're male or female, the Empress is a very powerful energy. All right, so let me see. Why is the Empress here? All right, so we have the Hierophant, and we have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, you may feel that this person has abandoned you or rejected you. I feel like you're very devoted to this person, though, and you feel like this situation can be worked out. You feel like it can be resolved. You may be seeking counseling, or you could be seeking, you know, help from somebody you highly respect, perhaps a spiritual leader of some sort. And that's going to help you to kind of come out of this energy where you're feeling this loss, you're feeling a lack of self-esteem. So if you're considering, you know, getting some sort of counseling or guidance, I think that would probably be a really good idea, because it turns things around for you. And you move out of this feeling of rejection and loss into this Empress energy. So that's very positive, and that's what's going to help you to overcome the problems that are present here. So let's look at their energy. Spirit, why is the World in reverse? All right, we have the Four of Swords, and we have Judgment. This person may have withdrawn, and that's why you're feeling rejected by them. It looks like they withdrew. They kind of clam up. They pulled back. They don't want to fight. They don't want to argue. So they avoid. This is an avoider, an emotional avoider. What I will tell you is they don't feel like everything is complete and over and done between the two of you, and they do want to bring this together. They do want to work this out. They really do. But they also are avoiding change, and, you know, they may even be avoiding communication on some level. So their behavior is giving you the wrong impression is what's happening. Why is the Eight of Pentacles here? Oh. All right, we have the Seven of Pentacles reversed, and we have the Seven of Swords reversed. Yeah, there's a sense here of them feeling exposed. There's a lack of trust within the connection. And so this person is feeling like they want to work things out, but they also don't want to make a error. You know, if they invest in the connection and it turns out that it's just going to continue to remain toxic, that the problems aren't going to be resolved, the problems aren't going to be worked out, I feel like that's going to make them withdraw even more. So this person's not currently investing in the connection. They're saying the words that they want to work it out, but they're not trusting, or it could be that they don't trust that you're going to invest properly in order to work through this transformation. There could have been somebody in the connection that wasn't being quite honest. I do see that. So this person's looking at everything but telling you nothing. Yeah. And it's because they don't want to make an error in judgment. This is somebody who can be a little bit deceptive. I don't feel like they may even be deceptive just with self, but they also, there's some impatience that's here and a resistance to making real change. So why is the Two of Wands here? I feel like this person is very confusing to deal with, because what they want and the way they behave is in contrast to each other. Like I can see they want to work things out with you, but then they withdraw because they're afraid of conflict. All right, so again, we have the World in reverse, and we have the Six of Swords. So this person they're at a crossroads here. They don't feel like things are over between the two of you, but they don't want to live in chaos either. And so this is putting them at that crossroads. They're making decisions now. And I do feel like they want to move this forward to something that is more peaceful. It almost looks as if they just don't quite know how to go about doing that. So let me see the energy. I feel like you're getting advice from somebody, and that advice is going to make a big difference for you, because you're interpreting them withdrawing as them rejecting you. But they're not rejecting you, Sagittarius. What they're doing is they're afraid of making a mistake and making things worse. So they're emotionally avoiding the connection because they don't want to make it worse. Let me see the energy between Sagittarius and this person. Show me the energy between Sagittarius and this person. Oh, Five of Cups. You both have some regrets. King of Wands. Good. You're stepping into your power. And the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Ooh, this person's got some stubborn energy. They're extremely resistant to change. And they're avoidant. They're emotionally avoidant. Now, right now, you're both looking at what's happened here. And you're both very sad. There's a deep sense of sadness that's here. Both of you kind of wondering, well, does this person even love me? I can say yes, you both do. This person is stuck, though. They want to bring it together, but they are so afraid of stepping forward and making a mistake and making the situation worse, and then everything's going to be over and done. That's what goes through their mind. So they avoid everything instead of actually working it through. And they know that they're going to have to, they're going to have to directly approach this if it's going to move to a better place. But they're avoidant of change. In your energy, I see you stepping up here, which is good. I see you coming into your power, taking action, and I do feel like you are being affected by somebody who is giving you pretty good advice, and that's what's making the game changer for you. It's empowering you. You're stepping into your power. You're taking action. Let me see why the Death card is here. All right, so we have Temperance in reverse, and we have the Nine of Swords. So this person's in blame mode. They're blaming this on you. So basically what they're saying is, you're toxic. I don't trust you. I want to work this out. But if I invest in this and it's going to be, unbalanced, it's going to still be toxic, and it's causing me a lot of emotional distress. And that's not quite how this is. This person also needs to take some accountability and some responsibility because they're emotionally avoidant here. It's easier to blame the other person, and that is part of the issue that they need to handle. You can't fix that for them. That's something they need to address, but it's stressing you the hell out. It's causing you to feel very hopeless about the situation, very powerless. And I feel like, you feel that things are never going to change. Even if you do take the responsibility for self, when I do see you doing that, which is positive. Let me see, show me the outcome, because I see that there is going to be some resolution to the problems. All right, so we have the Chariot in reverse. We have the Devil. Now, that was your first card out. So you're actually affecting this much more than what you are aware. And then we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. So what's going to be worked out? What's going to be resolved? Well, the toxic behaviors. The thing is that I feel like you may be stepping up and saying, yes, I have these toxic behaviors and these are what it is, and you're getting help. This person is still avoidant of that, but they don't want this to end either. There's a very powerful attraction that is here between you and this person. So I do feel like you both want to work things through. And this looks like it's something long-standing as well. That being said, on your side, I do feel that with the Chariot in reverse, it's going to take a little bit to work through all this toxicity. I feel like some of you guys are getting counseling or getting advice, though, and that's going to help you quite a bit because it empowers you and it helps you understand your value, your self-worth. In other words, you're addressing your toxicity, but you're still stuck in it by the end of the week. You're working on it. This person on, you know, in your energy, they're at a crossroads now because you're changing the equation, Sagittarius. You're working on yourself. Now they're going to have to decide, well, am I going to work on myself as well? They don't want this connection to end. They're very attracted to you. They do want to work it out. They do want to have a peaceful, happy relationship. But with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like they're pulling back. They're still avoidant. They're not really offering anything. And that's what's causing you to kind of dig your heels in a little bit. And it brings up more of that toxic energy. So I do feel like it took a long time to get to this point. I feel like it would be best for you to focus on self instead of focusing on them. This person is a bit immature in the way that they behave, and they have a lot of very stuck energy. So I do feel like they have like emotional avoidance here that needs to be addressed, but you can't address it. That's something they're going to have to do. All right. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Swords in the reverse, and that is positive. That does indicate healing. Now, it's going to take a while to get there. So I don't see this being resolved by the end of the week. I feel like there's going to be a lot that's going to need to be done because this has been a long-standing thing. It took a long time to get to this point, and it's going to take a long time to get it resolved. But focus on you, okay? That's where the healing comes in. All right, I'm going to pull an oracle card, Sagittarius, and we'll see if there's any further advice. All right, you have number 35. It says, never jam today. Promises that never come to be, empty words, and not living in the now. Interesting. Let me read that for you. All right, so it says, words are plentiful, but deeds are few. Thinking that the past and the future are better than the present. Being attracted by promises of good times and abundance that may never be kept. Boasting of plenty, but never enjoying it in the moment. Manipulation and withholding. Demand results in the present and work towards satisfying your desires yourself. Don't buy what they are selling. I couldn't have summed that up better. That pretty much sums up the reading. So live in today, work on yourself, and, you know, be sure that you have the boundaries in place when dealing with this person, because I do feel like they're going to give you a run for your money. They're going to dig in their heels a little bit. Change scares this person. So anyway, I hope that this has been helpful, Sagittarius. If you've resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Sagittarius, know that you are love. And namaste.